Hey guys, welcome back to Friends and Enemas. My name's Lindsay, and who do I have with me?
Jared, I'm back. I've been off for a little bit.
He's back, and his ass got bigger. Juicy face and a real... Wait.
It did, though.
What is the song? Bitch, I'm back, and my ass got bigger. Something waist and a real... I don't know. It doesn't matter, but you are back, and you do have a juicy booty. Yeah. Okay. That's not what you want to talk about, is it?
It has to come from somewhere, unfortunately. So I hold my weight.
Why? Unfortunately, everyone wants a juicy booty.
Well, I also have the juicy gut
Stop.
and the juicy love handles to go with it.
Okay, say 3 nice things about yourself. Go.
Start the episode.
All right, guys. This is the season finale of season 5, actually. We're ending with a bang. I think we're going to talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but definitely some listener write-ins on embarrassing things we've all done at work. Well, maybe not all of us. Definitely just some. Honestly, some of them, it's just a you problem. But we're definitely going to dive into those. But
it's always awkward whenever they write in and they're like, "Can you believe this happened to me?" And we're like, "Yeah,
I can't.
Of course, yeah.
I'm concerned for you."
Yeah.
But I also wanted to start/end. I guess we're ending the season, but starting the episode with highs and lows of this year, because this is going to air right before the new year. So after Christmas, I believe, or on Christmas. Honestly, I don't remember, you guys. The weeks are crazy right now. I'm on contract, if you didn't know. We're back in LA. I'm on contract, working 3 days a week. I don't know what days of the week are the days of the week at this point. So this will be aired, though, before the end of the year.
Yes.
And I want to go over highs and lows. Definitely, I already know our low.
Yeah. You go first.
Okay. I'm going to start with the low and end with the high. But the low, obviously, I mean, I've talked about it a million times, I feel like, at this point. But our dog passed away. I don't know if I can talk about it without crying. That's so crazy. Our dog passed away end of July, early August, August 1st, essentially, I guess. And it was the worst day of my year, honestly, because it was just so sudden. Cancer. He passed from hemangiosarcoma. We didn't know he had it. It was awful. But I guess the highlight of it is we just came back from like a family trip, essentially. Mm-hmm. We went on a trip with our friends and we got to bring Schmidt and Murphy along. And we've already talked about exactly what happened. But that was the low, obviously. And my heart still hurts that this is going to be the first Christmas without him. But I think the high was adopting Grim is definitely one of the highs. He's brought a lot of joy into our life, but it still just stings. Missing Murphy. I miss him every day. So damn it, I didn't want to do that. What about you? You go.
Let's see, highs. We moved to LA.
Yeah.
This year. Put you closer for things that you want to do, and I'm near some good golf, and we've got access to all kinds of things. I've met some golf friends.
Yeah, you have met some golf friends.
That's all been nice.
I feel like meeting friends as an adult, that should be like a whole other episode, because
so hard.
You're shaking your... It is so hard to meet quality friends as an adult.
And maybe it's just because I am male, but meeting friends as a male adult is like
even
expert
harder.
mode.
Yeah. Well, because like men, like typically your relationships are very surface level, and so I feel like it's hard to make those quality friendships that you had like from childhood, because they've seen you like grow up and they know who you were, or a piece of who you are. But like men are typically fairly surface level, so it's hard to make quality friendships when you don't know anything about each other except you both like golf.
Yeah, and it's so much more rare that guys want to confide in male friends.
And men, yeah.
And so you get a bunch of mismatches on what people are, how deep of a friendship they're wanting.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I enjoy my, like, we're friends and we play golf. And that's just what we do. And I think that's absolutely necessary.
Yeah. We should definitely mark that for a future episode, because I think it's important to talk about, because I think a lot of people feel alone in that.
Yeah.
But I will also add on, I wanted to go through all the trips we've been on this year. I was just going through my calendar, like another high. I feel like when we first got married something we wanted to do was travel and travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we travel a lot now. And I feel like it's so easy to forget the things that you wanted in your past. It's so easy to forget when you get them. Like I wanted a spouse who truly loved me. I got him. We wanted to travel. We travel all the time now. We do. We travel so much. Let's see. In January, we were still in Arizona. In February, we went on a New Mexico ski trip with your sister. And it says, oh, no. In March, we went to Cabo with our friends Tim and Amanda. In April, let's see. It says Jacksonville. Where's Jacksonville? Florida?
We've not been there.
I think I went there for like a podcast though.
Oh yeah,
maybe
so.
But it says Jacksonville, so I went to Jacksonville. In May, we went to Hawaii. We also moved to LA in May. And then our friends came to stay with us in June. In July, we went to Bend, Oregon. In August, we didn't really do much in August. But in September, your parents came to visit us in LA. We took them to Universal. Super fun. We also went to Alaska in August. Like, it's so easy to forget these things.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so important. That's why you write stuff down in your calendar, because then you can go back and like see, oh my God, in October, we went to Vegas for our anniversary. We're not Vegas people. We went for the When We Were Young tour, and it was so fun. Or not tour, but yeah, festival, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we've done so many things. Like there's so many highs as well, but it's so easy to forget them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think if we're, it's easy for it all to kind of blend in whenever you get busy. It just feels like, and I think we, maybe call it a low, but we've both had some trouble delineating play from work.
Yeah.
The two have kind of, fused together for us. And so we have trouble, like every trip we're trying to find like work that can be done, or our vacations end up being extensions of a work trip. And so I think we run into that a lot.
Yeah.
And we talked about this next year, just taking a trip, just the two of us, just for
pleasure.
Pleasure.
It's just for fun.
It's just a vacation.
Yeah. And I think you're so right, because I'm sure, I don't know if you guys are interested in this or not, but yeah, I am a nurse. I still do work. I'm on a contract right now. Jared's working on Scrubstr, our app. If you don't know what Scrubstr is, it is an up and coming app. We've been working on it for years, but we have a new developing team on it as well. It's essentially Rate My Professor, but for hospitals you've worked in. It's an anonymous way to rate hospitals and agencies if you're travel, that you've worked for, and you can't get blacklisted from it. We're currently undergoing, you tell more about it, because you know the like, behind the scenes shit.
Think Glassdoor, but information that's actually actionable for healthcare workers. We ask very specific questions so that you get a full idea of what it's like working on the floor in that hospital. You know, we say like Glassdoor is reviews and stories from the boardroom, and these are reviews and stories from the break room.
Yes.
So it's something that you can actually look at and say, okay, this is what it's really like day to day in this hospital, instead of like, oh, well, the HR director really had a good time there on Glassdoor, so it must be a good hospital.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But also other little things we're implementing. People always ask, is it just for nurses? We're expanding to all healthcare professionals and all specialties. So you'll be able to tell if, oh, this was the ICU. Oh, this was the med surge. Oh, this is a physician. Oh, this was RT, which is exciting. And then many more hospitals. And then there's also a request my hospital box. Yes. And it sounds like everyone's like, oh, well, a lot of people want to take from it. They want to see what people are saying, but we need people to give as well. So give your review. It is a very objective review, but then there's like a subjective box for you to type in, free type.
Yeah, because it's completely free. It's completely anonymous. This is a resource for all of us.
Yes.
Us as nurses, us as healthcare workers. If we can all put our collective knowledge into it, it's going to be an extremely valuable resource for all of healthcare moving forward.
And we hope that this helps eventually keep retention rates higher with hospitals. That's our end goal. Yeah. How can we show these hospitals, hey, this isn't working, but this does? Yeah. So that's essentially what we're trying to do.
And that's where it all started. Like I would see disparate voices like strewn across the internet having the same issues. And I would look from platform to platform, Facebook groups and this and that. and they're all having the same issues. So the idea is to aggregate all of these voices together so we have one powerful platform where these hospitals can see, oh, I have a 2-star rating. What are we doing wrong?
Yeah.
And they actually have real data that they can look at and see where they can. Is everybody complaining about a manager in a certain unit? Are people complaining about the equipment? Do they not feel safe? Do they not like some of the protocols? It actually gives you, these hospitals, something
actionable,
tangible, to increase their retention rates.
Yeah. So that's what Jared's been working on, which is really awesome. But besides that, we work on content creation. I'm constantly making content for YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, my podcasts. Like, we're doing so many things. So going back to like going on vacation, actually going on vacation and not being in work mode in some way, shape, or form, that's a goal for 2026. Yeah. Like putting my mind to rest, but having fun, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like we haven't started talking about it yet, but we're getting quickly towards the end of the year. And it's time to start.
So many things.
Yeah, and we got the. I'm kind of excited about the. It's called a big ass calendar.
Yeah,
and it's pretty exciting. It shows like your entire year. It's like what, 2 feet by 4 feet, 3 feet by 4 feet, something like that. Big. And it shows every single day of the year, and there's some methodology that goes along with it, or you can just use it as a regular calendar. And you can put like, it's not like your day to day, 9 a.m. I'm doing this, 10 a.m. I'm doing this. It's too small for that. But it gives you an overview of your entire year. Like, we're taking this trip, or I want to block out this trip. Oh, we have 2 months where we're not doing anything. Let's plan a fun trip right there.
I'm really excited to do that.
Yep.
The last thing I want to talk about before we like actually get into listener write-ins, which I know is probably why you guys are here, but I hope all of this is interesting to you as well.
I do too, because I hate whenever I'm 12 minutes in and they're not talking about the thing yet. I know. Like, it kills
I'm like,
me. And here we are doing
fast forward, but you guys can totally fast forward if you're like, shut up. I want to hear the stories. Yeah. But this, I think, is an important thing to touch on. Speaking of powerful platforms, I do want to use my platform for good things when I feel and see something that I resonate with. And I recently found this Kickstarter. I saw a post on Instagram. It's called, I hope I'm saying her name right, Rain's Place, Reinne, Rain's Place, a Vietnamese and Filipino coffee shop. A coffee shop built from love, loss, and community. I'm about to cry. Oh my God, because I watched, they have a video on their Kickstarter. I will have a link in the description. Please go look at it and watch the video. And it's essentially her husband made this video of her. I guess I should tell what happened first. So this is, it says, our story. My name is Tommy and I'm opening Rain's Place. It is a Vietnamese and Filipino coffee shop coming to Long Beach, and a space born out of grief, healing, and the belief that something meaningful can grow from something devastating. It is an ode to my late girlfriend, Rain Lim, and to the community that lifted me when my life changed forever. On October 2nd, 2022, a drunk driver going the wrong way on the freeway hit us head on. The impact took Rain's life and left me in critical condition. I spent more than a week in the ICU and underwent multiple surgeries. When I finally woke up, my life was unrecognizable. What kept me afloat in those early weeks was the community that showed up for me. My friends, family, and even people who barely knew us stepped in when I could not stand on my own. It showed me how powerful connection can truly be and how deeply small acts of care matter. Over the next 3 years, I rebuilt myself piece by piece. During that time, I learned everything I could about coffee, hospitality, and how to create a space that reflects intention and warmth. My years behind the bar before the accident gave me a community I did not realize would one day become my lifeline. It introduced me to the people who held me through the darkest period of my life, and it gave me Rain. I knew I wanted to build a space that carried her softness, her care, and the intention that kept me standing. So there's a lot more to read about this, but he made a video, and it starts out with her as a baby with her parents. Oh my God, I'm about to bawl. It's so sweet. It starts out with her as a baby with her parents, and just going through life, showing that she was once someone's daughter. She was once a child. And then it shows her as a big sister when she gets the news that she's going to be a big sister, and she's like maybe 6 or 7, and she's just the sweetest little girl. And then it goes into showing that they were together and that a car crash happened and the news story. and then her funeral, and that she's not here, and then all of these pictures of her with her loved ones, and it's like so touching. And then at the end he dedicated it to her parents, and I was like, oh my God, like what a sweet man. He loved this woman. I can't believe I'm crying this much. What the fuck? But it's so touching. And the thing on top of it was she was a nurse at Kaiser, and I'm like, oh my God, that. And then it hits even closer to home. Like, she's one of us. Yeah. And a drunk driver went up the freeway the wrong way and hit them and killed her. And it's so fucking sad. So my whole point of this is, if you have time, go donate to and if you have the money, go donate to that Kickstarter. Go follow them on Instagram. Share their story, because he's right now, from what I understand, is like doing pop-up coffee and matcha. And he's trying to get his own place, and I think that's so sweet that he wants to build community and love and a space to share, not just come get our coffee, right? You know, like it's just really sweet and clearly touching. So love that. Now, do you want to get into some stories?
Sure, if you're ready.
20 minutes later.
We'll have to take a trip down to Long Beach, apparently.
No, we have to, because I'm like, that is just the sweetest thing ever. Okay, what I'm going to start with is kind of some stuff from October, but I polled my audience and asked what their favorite episodes were this year. By far, the spooky episodes were up. They were like, spooky. I want to hear a spooky episode every damn month. They were so fun. And I didn't get to read all of them. There were so many. So I figured we're going to start with a couple spooky episodes just to get that spooky bitch, I don't know, feel vibe going.
Nightmare Before Christmas
going. And then we'll jump into some other types of nightmares from embarrassing stories. Ready? Okay. I had a patient in a room that was notorious for having strange things happen in it. It was her deceased mother's birthday, and during the day she was sitting in the recliner and the curtain divider wrapped around her like a hug. She thought someone had come in and done it, and the day shift nurse found her like that and thought that the patient was using the curtain like a blanket. So she asked the patient about it. During report, the nurse told me about it and said it was very strange given the patient was alert and oriented, but genuinely thought someone had wrapped the curtain around her. That night, I was talking with her, and the call light was lying at her shoulder. Both her and I were not moving at all when the call light clattered to the ground behind her bed, almost as if someone had pulled it.
That's it's kind of terrifying that they wrap the curtain around the patient. It doesn't just
those definitely don't just move.
Yeah, if it's a hospital, they don't have open windows. There's no draft.
Right.
So how is it going to wrap around a patient?
Right.
Especially one that's alert and oriented and didn't do it themselves.
The call light thing, I'm kind of like, nah, it probably fell. Because how often do they fall, slip, whatever.
Yeah.
It was like already about to fall. I can totally write that one off. Wipe my hands of it.
Curtain's
the curtain,
more difficult, yeah.
I don't know about the curtain. Yeah. That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
A little creepy. This one is from Lindsey D. It was 2 a.m. and I just did a check on my adolescent patient in the mental health ward. I sent my coworker on break and was just sitting down to do some charting. The phone rang and it was security, not overly strange at the moment, but then I hear, "Is everything okay? We just got a call from an extension on your unit with a girl yelling, 'Help!' Then they hung up." Me, no, I just did a check on my patients and they're all sleeping. Are you sure they don't have a unit phone? He said. Me, no, our patients use phones on the wall beside me. It looks like it came from an extension in a back office room. We will look into this and get back to you. I sat in silence, wishing I didn't send my coworker on break. I did another check and the kids were still sleeping. Security checked the rest of the rooms with no turn up, and it was so strange and scary.
That is terrifying, especially
the random calls.
Yeah, and it's the calls from an adult, but it's all kids on the unit.
Yeah,
and it's coming from your unit.
I don't like that one bit. I don't like that one bit. I have another one that's
especially at 2 a.m. No, thank you.
No, at 2 a.m. is the most terrifying part. You're like, oh, we're really close to the witching hour. I think right now is not the time.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I have a story. Honestly, I have a bunch of stories because I am one of those people that since a young age could talk to ghosts. So I want to share two. When I was younger, maybe 4 years old, my mom found me talking to someone in the laundry room. She thought that I was just talking to myself at first because I'm a yapper, but apparently this started happening often. One day she decided to ask who I was talking to. I said, I'm talking to Bampy. Basically, Bampy is what my family called my grandfather. The catch is that my grandfather died before I was even born, and she had not told me about him at all, so I didn't know he existed. Also, there was no one in the laundry room.
Clearly, there was nobody in the laundry room. Jeez.
Bampy's in the damn laundry room, girl.
Huh.
Okay, again, this is where I'm like, there's too many stories of children speaking to people who have already passed, and no one has taught them about this person.
Yeah.
Spirits exist. I just got chills. Like,
Right.
Spirits exist in some way, shape, or form.
And like knowledge that it wasn't like, she said, I'm talking to Gramps or some normal name. Bampy is not a normal name for a grandparent. And it's like hyper specific. Like, how do you, whenever people have knowledge that they shouldn't have, that's when I'm like, how do you explain that?
Yeah, you can't. You have to say there are unexplainable things. Spirits are one of them, in my opinion. In my educated opinion. Story number 2. Story number 2 is a healthcare one. I had a coworker tell me this. She was working and answered a call light via the phone, but when she answered it all she heard was a child screaming, "Help me, help me, help me." She was confused because this was an adult unit. She still ran into the room thinking that maybe it was a family member needing help. When she went into the room, she found the patient, an adult, sitting up in bed and talking calmly to the nurse. They were confused because there was no child. It turns out that unit was an old children's hospital years ago. Girl, what?
Yeah,
that is the scariest thing I've ever heard.
That's terrifying.
Because also, whenever I hear stories about like, oh, it was a children's hospital years ago, I want to know the year. Because, like back when they used to experiment on children and like psych patients and all that and women and like, so it's like, what year was it? I'm curious.
What kind of spirits are we dealing with?
Yeah. What is the help me? Yeah. Did the child slip and fall, or is some crazy shit that went on? And it's like in this weird loop.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with like spirits. I listen to so much shit now about like ghosts and stuff, that there's this theory that they can be in a loop of their own life over and over. And so the help me is the part of where they needed help. And it's like,
you're catching them somewhere in the loop.
Yes. And it's so scary. If I die, let me go to heaven, please be, or don't. A loop is terrifying.
Yeah. And it's freaky because those aren't, it's all like hardwired. They're not like radio waves that you can have cross chatter. It's there's not a lot of ways to explain that.
It was a child. Dun, dun, dun.
If I'm gonna have ghosts in the unit, I'm gonna need to know like what's the general vibe of the ghosts.
Are you a good ghost? You're supposed to just ask them.
Yeah.
Apparently they give you a sign.
Oh, do they?
I don't want to know what the sign is if they're a bad ghost, but apparently they give you a sign. Okay, so I've got some other stories as well. We're going to move on from the spooky stuff. I hope that you guys like that. I will try to incorporate those more because I truly love the spooky ones myself. October is not enough. Okay, next we're going to get into a little bit of an advice column because I had quite a few people send me questions and like just general things that have happened and they need some advice. And then we'll get into the last of the episode, which will be some embarrassing stories. This one says, "Hi, Lindsay. I wanted to reach out because I could really use some advice. I had my first patient fall as a nurse, and I've been in nursing for just under 2 years, and it was incredibly traumatic for me. I couldn't stop crying when I got home, and I've been feeling really alone in this. Even though I followed fall precautions, I can't help but feel like it was my fault and that I could have prevented it had I been there sooner."
It's just gonna happen.
Is.
There's no way around any of that. I mean, you're gonna have there's a certain amount of fall protocols in the hospital, but unless they staffed full-time sitters for every patient that was not fully alert and oriented, and even some of them, they're not always going to call. You got how many of especially on the stroke unit, you've got a bunch of these like 40, 50-year-old men who were fully active running marathons the day before, and now they're dependent on everybody for everything, and they hate it. So they're going to push themselves to get up faster. That's just one example. Not to mention people that aren't fully with it. They're having some sort of issue because they're in the hospital. But yeah, I've had one fall that I can remember, and it was a slide out of a recliner. And I walked in, and like we had the chair units for an alarm. And as soon as I heard the alarm, I went in there quickly. And I mean, nobody was going to catch them sliding out of the chair onto the floor.
The unfortunate thing is it's going to happen, especially when hospital systems don't adequately staff their units. And I'll be honest, when you have fall patients on your unit, you should have extra staff on the unit. Like Jared said, is there a sitter there? There's not. There's absolutely nothing you could do different.
Yeah, you just cover...
If you have your alarms on, your basic fall precautions, which you said you did.
Yeah, and if you've covered all the hospital protocols, then they're still going to like... You know, your manager's probably still going to come at you like
they're going to try to make it feel like it was your fault.
Yeah, but if you followed every protocol, then it's not you, it's the hospital's protocols.
I feel like this theme of, but what could I have done better without them even saying it to you? Like, this is kind of embedded into hospital culture, but what could you have done better? Oh, but you did everything right, but it wasn't enough. No, that's not fair to you.
No.
That is not true. That is a way to make you feel like it's your fault. It is not your fault. You're doing your best. You got to brush it off. There are so many things that happen at work that I'm like, damn, that sucks. Anyway.
Yeah.
Because I am doing my best. Not because I'm a lazy nurse, because I'm doing my best. There's literally nothing you could have done to prevent this fall. Patients are going to fall. It's not fair.
Yeah.
But it's just the truth.
And like we were saying, until the day that there's a 1-to-1 sitter in every single fall risk room, which is not realistic currently. Falls are just going to happen. It's just part of it.
It's just part of it. So try not to don't put that type of weight on yourself.
Yeah.
You
still cover all your fall protocols.
Absolutely. But don't go home. And it's a lot easier said than done. I feel like it comes with practice. And the longer you've been a nurse, you said you've been a nurse just under 2 years. I've been a nurse coming up on 7 years. There's not a lot you can make me feel bad for at this point, because I'm doing everything to the best of my knowledge. I'm doing it by the rules. At this point, if it's not working, it's typically a systemic issue. You know, hire enough people. Okay. Like, it doesn't hurt. That you're not going to hurt. It'd be really hard to hurt my feelings at this point. You know what I mean? I hope that helped. This one says, families refusing everything except pain meds, PT/OT. They're refusing meds, turning, wound care. Family's mad that the patient isn't getting better. Nurse tells family like it is. They're not going to get better because we can only do so much for them. They're A&O times 4 patients, responsibility to do things for themselves. We can't force shit that they don't want to get better. So this is kind of a rant. But
Agreed.
What?
I said, I agree.
Agreed. Yeah. But I think this happens a lot. And like maybe with like newer nurses, I brought this one up because, again, there's nothing you can do. And I don't know, not everyone agrees with this, but when talking to patient families, I'm always respectful, but there are different tones for families. I'm always going to be professional and respectful, but there is a certain point, if this was my family and then they're yelling at me, the nurse, that, well, you guys aren't doing this and they're not getting better and they're still sick, I would kindly say, I totally understand your frustration and where this emotion is coming from. I would be this way with my loved one as well. However, I do think we have provided you different types of treatment that you have refused, and give them examples. PT, OT, speech, that's all a treatment. It's all a regimen to get better. Medications that you refuse, it's a regimen to get better. Any types of orders that the doctor has, imaging, it's something that we can look at to see what we can do to get you better. And you have unfortunately refused all of those. So at this point, my hands are tied. But please let me know if you change your mind on any of those things. Yeah,
and I'll fight harder or not like fight, but I'll educate really
harder,
hard for PT and OT, even over some medications. I mean, yes, you need to take your meds and this and that, and there's, but PTOT is extremely important. Moving after surgeries, moving when you're sick. Not to mention, they're probably the final or one of the final gatekeepers to you getting discharged.
Every time.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand that. When in most hospitals, criteria to get discharged is case management, PTOT. Speech is in there too. We always forget about speech, but it should be PTOT speech. Can you swallow appropriately so you don't aspirate and come right back here? Okay. But that's part of we assume that's part of it. It should be, but definitely PT.
Yeah.
If you cannot safely get out of bed and safely do things for yourself, and we don't have anything in place for someone to come help you, home health, you're not going to get discharged. It is such a better option for you to, and I'm not saying like you don't ever do stuff that you don't feel is right for you, but it's a better option to understand where we're coming from, and like these are the steps to discharge versus yelling at us as to why you're not getting better. We're trying.
And I know there wasn't really a question in there, but it was mostly about communication and where we're at. And I think for nurses, the best thing you can do is approach it with the correct frame of reference. You're not trying to win the argument by them. If your goal is them doing what you said, you're going to approach this a little bit too confrontationally, and I wouldn't approach it that way. The goal is to reach a mutual end, which is we both care about the health of this patient. And so, let's reach the ultimate best decision for the health of this patient together. And so I think if you approach it that way, it's a little bit more collaborative instead of like a head-to-head we're negotiating type thing. And then beyond that, I mean, just like some simple stuff. If you have a patient that's like, or a patient family that's maybe a little bit difficult and you can tell that they really value some modicum of control, I'll give them two options, both of which are a means to my own end. But if you just give them those options, it gives them enough control that they feel a little better about it. And usually they're going to choose one of those.
Yeah.
Beyond that, try to get rid of ending sentences in upward inflections like this. Give
an example.
Do you think we could do PT today? Instead of
so we're going to do PT today.
We're going to do PT today. You see how instead of it going up, it goes down. This a downward inflection. It doesn't feel like a question. There's nothing to argue.
It's not a suggestion.
Yeah,
it's the recommendation. This is what we're doing.
It usually carries a little bit more command, and so downward inflections. Be polite. Like it's not that hard. They're gonna say, and we talked about this the other day. Like we did not sign up for any type of violence. I'm not saying that at all. Verbal, any type of violence or abuse. We did not sign up for any of that. You did sign up to take care of and interact with people on the worst day of their life, most likely. And so you're going to get some sharp words at you. It's not going to kill you. Brush it off. Give them a little bit of grace and try to get to your mutual end of taking care of the patient or the loved one.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of patience. And I think a lot of these things break down because nurses approach it like, I need to win this thing. I'm in charge. I run this whole room. So you spend a lot of time directing everybody and what they're doing. You're kind of the ringleader of the whole thing. But whenever it comes to your patient, you need to collaborate more.
Absolutely. It's your soft skills. Jared talks a lot about soft skills, and we're going to do a whole episode based on communication and soft skills because I think it's so missed in healthcare in general, not just nurses, doctors, PT, OT, CT, who it literally could be anyone, the CNA, it's literally everyone. And it's all so like we're against each other when really we need to understand perspective, number one, and end goal, number two. The other thing you said that I liked a lot was that we did sign up to take care of people on their worst days, not to mention taking care of people who have no knowledge of medical diagnosis. At all. No knowledge of what happens when I'm sick at all. They don't understand what a full code truly means. We did sign up for that.
And they're doing like what most of us do, not our more elderly patients that aren't like technology native, but if you went to a hospital or took one of the dogs in and you heard a diagnosis or a word you've never heard before, you're going to look it up immediately if you don't ask the vet what it means. And so it's like rolling the dice with the Google algorithm. And, like they have the jokes where any symptoms you put in, everything ends with cancer. And so they're already freaked out, and they don't really know how all this fits together. And then you get patients like, well, what are the labs? Because they want to send them to somebody they know, or they want to do this, or they want to do that. And you can kindly say, I'll usually say, what labs are you talking about? Just to kind of, back up a little bit.
Yeah.
The labs isn't helpful.
Right.
And then we can talk about what their concern is, and then we can talk more specifically about individual labs.
Yeah. And like you said, like patience goes a long way with these people. I mean, I understand, like, I do take breaks between contracts, and I think that's why I'm not as burnt out as I once was, is because I have the luxury of taking a break between contracts. I understand that we are burnt out. I promise you, I'm a nurse. I understand the frustrations we deal with every day with people constantly testing us. I get it.
Yeah.
People be pissing me off at work, and I have to deep breathe and tell myself, this is the worst day of their life. This is their loved one. This person, they do not want any harm to happen to them, and they are scared. Okay. So I go in with a new attitude because, and I'm not saying I don't ever, I'm also not saying I'm perfect. I can pop off when I don't need to sometimes, but it also just, you have to remind yourself, these people are scared. And when people are scared, they act out. Yeah. It's survival mode.
Yeah. Have some grace. Show some grace. People talk about nursing, and the word grace is thrown around quite a bit, but not a lot of people know what it really means. It's just kind of used as like, they have such grace. Grace, giving people the benefit of the doubt. That's grace. Give them a little bit of room. Give them a little bit of space to act ugly on the worst day of their life, because you would do it. Absolutely. On the worst day of your life, you're going to be a little sharper.
Yeah, and if something happened to my husband and I wasn't understanding what's going on, and the people who do know what's going on came at me, bitch, I would go fucking nuts for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I get it. I get where the emotion comes from.
Yeah, because a lot of you don't think about the entire system of the hospital and the entire hospital experience. You think about you personally and what you're doing, and you think you're a small cog when you're a bigger part of the experience than you think. Like when my uncle had that car wreck and went to the hospital, my dad came up. He had heard nothing yet. They said, you need to come to the hospital, which he automatically knows. Okay, so it's pretty bad. He gets there, and I think they set him in the waiting room. And then a chaplain comes and gets him, moves him to another waiting room in like the bowels of the hospital, like an OR waiting room or something like that. And nobody tells him anything. He doesn't know how they're doing, nothing like that. And then a third person who also doesn't know the status,
the extent of the situation.
Like the extent or what's going on or anything like that. A third person, and maybe 40 minutes to an hour have passed at this point, takes him, I think, to another waiting room, and then they eventually tell him that he can come back and see them with no prompting. And
no one had told him anything.
Yeah, he was beat up, intubated. He was in bad shape. So, at this point, he's terrified for an hour, and then he walks into a medical situation you don't usually see with gore and stuff of your family member.
Yes, his brother.
And nobody stopped. Nobody took the time to say, hey, this is the situation. It's going to look like this, this, and this. Do you have any questions before we go in? Whenever you go in, you're going to see this and this and this. It doesn't take that long.
It really doesn't. And this is also goes back to like communication within the hospital. That wasn't on purpose, I'm sure, but nobody talked to everyone to see who's going to go find their loved one and tell them what happened. And it makes me think, like in the ICU, hey, are you ready for family? No. Because I have no clue. I don't know yet who has talked to them, what has happened. I often like to go get the family myself if it's the first time of me dealing with this patient or it's a new admit, and say, what have you been told? Because I need to know where they're at in the process. I need to know, do they know what happened? Oh, they don't understand the extent of this. They deserve to know what happened. Yeah. That makes me mad that when we were both angry that happened to your dad, because he didn't deserve that. Yeah. They deserve education and information about their loved one. And I don't think it was intentional, because that's not what we mean to do. Yeah. But it's the little things of us brushing it off for the next person. It's not my job. It's so-and-so's job. It's this person's job. Somebody fucking take the wheel.
Yeah. And like you were saying, going to get families yourself, especially we both work in the ICU. So a lot of times they saw grandpa feeling a little bad and, walk in or come in the wheelchair, breathing through his mouth normally. And by the time they come to the ICU to see them, he's got lines in his neck. He's intubated. Yes. He's got a feeding tube in him. There's all this different stuff, and it looks terrifying to a regular person. Yeah, and so going out yourself and prompting the family, saying, "Hey, we had to do this and this and this. These are the reasons that we did this and this and this. It looks like this. I just wanted you guys to be ready, and let's go in."
They do appreciate that.
Yeah,
it automatically. we're kind of going off on tangents, but I think this stuff is so important. It automatically places you into you know what you're doing. They trust you. It does. It almost immediately. They're like, oh, I trust this person. They're already
signals
telling
confidence.
Yes, it does. And it shows them that you care about, hey, I know this is your loved one. This might be very difficult to see. Because again, they don't see this often unless they work in healthcare.
Yeah.
I've brought this up before too. When my dad was in a motorcycle accident when I was in second grade, he was in the hospital for weeks, months. I'm honestly not sure. I always feel like it was longer, but he was in the hospital for weeks before I got to see him. And the nurses kept telling my mom, like, you can't bring the kids up here. And she's like, I have to bring my kids up here. Like, they need to see their dad. Finally brings us up there. And like, maybe my mom tried to tell me, I don't remember. But as a kid walking into that, I was like, whoa, he was intubated, staples everywhere, stitches, lines. That was scary. Even as an adult, I think that would be scary because you wouldn't understand what you're looking at. And it looks like, whoa, like a Frankenstein. Like it looks scary. It's just scary. And just doesn't take that long to like put aside your tasky work and just be a human for just a second.
Yeah. And like, it's not just, it's cliche, but if it was your family member, your loved one, the person you care the most about, how would you want the situation handled if you were the patient family walking in? Do you want to walk into a room where you haven't been prompted on anything? They look awful. It's terrifying. And then the nurse has her back to you.
Right.
Her or his back.
Calm down.
Male nurse here. They have their back to you. And when you ask questions, they don't turn around. They just answer the question into the wall. Like, that shit's so rude.
It is
rude. I
rude.
cannot stand that.
And it automatically makes the family feel standoffish, that they can't talk to you, that you're busy, that we are busy. We're always busy, but this is part of the job.
Yeah,
Grow the fuck up.
You need to signal trust. You need to look competent. You need to be polite.
Yes.
Those three things will take you a long way with patients and families.
And with the competent thing, if you don't know something, you're allowed to say, actually, I'm not sure. Let me go ask. That also shows competence. You know that you don't know the answer to something. You're not going to lie about it. And you're going to go find someone who does know the answer to something.
Yeah, because the time that you lie out your ass, they're going to be a healthcare worker or a doctor. And you're going to be
like, I was testing you, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, moving on. This one says, hey, I'm a fairly new traveler. I'm not a nurse, but in CT scan. I know we probably run into the same things, though. You've talked about working with catty people before in the field. It's nothing I'm new to, but I'm just finding it hard to deal with new coworkers that question everything you do and basically talk shit. I am a good tech, but I feel like... the message cut. It says, I am a good tech, but I feel like essentially they don't trust me. So a couple things here. You're a travel tech. That's unfortunately part of the gig. People don't know who you are when you walk on a unit. And that's the con of being a traveler, is that you don't have the sense of community with your coworkers.
And you're carrying whatever the traveler before you did.
Yes.
So
unfortunately,
like, they don't see you as a new employee. They see you as a traveler, and they lump them all together. And that comes from their experience of travelers. So if they have a negative experience, you
have to prove yourself, which is not fair. I'm not saying I agree with any of this. It's just what it is. Being a new traveler, how many times have I been a new traveler? I've been traveling for 5 years now. We've worked out 19, 20 facilities. I'm always the new guy. It's always a new person walking into work. Sometimes I do look dumb to them because we call things different things, because policies have been different other places, because medicine is different everywhere. Yeah. But I often go in with an attitude of like, how can I help? How do you guys do this? Because I've seen it differently other places. I always, always, always tell them, hey, I've done this before, but since I'm at a new place, I want to see how you guys do it, because everywhere's different. Because sometimes they don't know everywhere's different. They think their way of doing something is the only way, and that's why they think you're dumb, when actually they just don't have experience in any other way, and you do. Yeah. But the thing with catty coworkers is, I don't know how else to put this. There's so many options you can take. You can either go head on and say, hey, don't treat me this way. I don't appreciate this. I'm here to help. I'm here to work. I'm here to learn. I am all ears on what you guys are looking for, don't treat me this way. You can ignore it. You're there for 13 weeks or however long your contract is. You can know that it's most likely going to get better the longer you're there. The longer you're there without showing, if you're a competent healthcare worker, those like signs of like animosity for me in my experience go away.
Yeah, because most of the contracts that we've worked, like whenever you first get there, and it's just best practice, whenever you have a new traveler, you don't give them your sickest patients. So we would usually get people with a foot out the door. But almost every contract, by the end of the 3 months, and certainly if we extended, they're giving us, we're just in rotation with everybody. Once they realize that you're competent and you know what you're doing, it's usually whenever your first patient goes south, they'll see how you handle that. And if you handle it well, then they're going to throw you in rotation.
Yeah, that's what happened to me recently. I got my first one-to-one. I've been there for 6 weeks now. And I'm like, hell yeah, because this is what I like in the ICU. Not for the patient, obviously, but for my workflow. I like a one-to-one. I like a sick patient. But I think it just, unfortunately, like this is, and it all obviously depends on exactly what's happening to you, because there wasn't a ton of information in that. The catty coworker comment makes me think that, you know, maybe they're leaving you out. Maybe they're talking about you in front of you or behind your back. And I will say, like, if it gets to a point where you can't do your job efficiently, then call it out. And I always do it in a professional manner. I go to the direct source of whoever's talking about me or making me feel a certain way, and I pull them aside. And I say, hey, I've noticed this and this is happening, and it's happening with you. And I don't appreciate the way you're treating me with this and this. I wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt that you didn't understand you were making me feel this way. But now that you do, if it continues to happen, I will go up the chain of command. I will escalate this.
Yeah, that's a good response.
Because a lot of times people, I don't know, they get into these weird cliques on the unit and they get into their own flow and they forget that this isn't high school. I mean, it does happen, unfortunately. But every time I've called it out, it stops.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, so much of the time people are just
bored,
subconsciously projecting how they feel about themselves onto you.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. It doesn't make anybody feel better, but just so you know, like
it's really not a you problem.
Yeah, they don't know you. How could it be a you problem? They have no clue who you are. So they're clearly projecting their own experiences onto you, and there's only so much you can do about that.
Yeah. And I feel like that wasn't a good, like, here's what you do.
No, I thought that was good. Just especially the prompt you just gave about I'm going to give you the benefit of doubt, and you know that you didn't realize that I was feeling this way about the things you were saying. Yeah. And then you go up the chain of command if you can't squash it in person. Yeah.
And the truth is, you're a traveler. If you do that, that could put a target on your back, and you might be canceled and fired.
Yes, and that's a good point. Is if something gets kicked up and it comes down to their coworker that shows up 36 hours a week, sometimes 48, and they're going to do that for the next, for the foreseeable future, or you that's there for 13 weeks, you're getting canned.
You're going to, So it's what I said from the beginning. There's several options you can take here. You kind of got to weigh your pros and cons and what's it worth to you. Is it possibly worth your job?
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes I've been there where I said, fuck it. I'm going to do this because I don't give a fuck anymore. They're pissing me off. I'm going to do it. And I did lose my job. But you know what? I also gained a lot more after that. And your job is not always everything. And I know everyone's situation is different. People got mouths to feed, yada, yada. I'm saying you have to weigh your own pros and cons. Situations are different.
And we've run the gambit on contracts. We've had contracts where we didn't really find all that many people that we jived with, and not like anybody was rude. Just we went to work, we did our work, we came home, did it for 13 weeks, and then we moved on. Yeah. And then there was some contracts where there was more interaction on the unit. Everybody worked together pretty well. Mm-hmm. And then you have some contracts like our contract in Wichita, where you find a group of friends and you're sad to leave.
Shout out Carly. Shout out Dane.
Yeah, the whole...
They're my besties.
Bonnie's running around out there somewhere.
Bonnie, where are you? Yeah, you also can have like really good time. So hopefully that doesn't scare anyone off from traveling, because some of my best experiences at work were my travel contracts. Mm-hmm. Like I can also just have so much fun with these people. And it's also very rare in my experience that I have a ton of hostility.
Yeah.
It has happened a handful of times, but comparatively to the rest of the times, like it's very small.
And you have some nurses that are like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make a paycheck. I don't think there's anything wrong with that as long as you're approachable at work, because if you're breaking down communication in the hospital, then you are hurting your patients.
Absolutely. Yeah. Moving on. I think this is our last advice message. So if you guys have liked this and you have your own questions or scenarios that you're confused on what to do or how to tackle them, please send them to stories@scrubhacks.com with the subject line advice. This one says, you may not message me back and that's okay, but I'm an ICU nurse in South Carolina. My director is a micromanager. We have phones that can take pictures of our patients' wounds, etc., to be uploaded to the patient chart. Typically, these patients are unable to care for themselves and have come from the nursing homes or are being cared for at home by family. I'm not against placing those pictures in the chart. With that being said, yesterday we were told that the ICU is starting to pilot a program for no harm to patients. Sounds great, right? We are being made to take a picture of every admit and transfer's heels, sacrum, and buttocks. So you want me to take a picture of everyone's tail hole? Where's the dignity? Where's the respect? I'm feeling some kind of way about this because my director thinks this will cut down on happies. How? Happies are hospital-acquired pressure injuries. Mm-hmm. I turn my patients every 2 hours to the best of my ability if I can, and I have someone else help me out. What would you do?
Yeah, these
this is stupid.
protocols are always born from legal. Mm-hmm. The unit you're on got a slap on the wrist because their happies were higher than everybody else in the hospital, and so they, instead of staff, they think they band-aid it with protocol. We see it in every unit all the time. Mm-hmm. And so but as far as the one thing, like taking pictures and using technology, I don't think is a bad thing. It would be undignified if it was like posted out to the public or something like that, but you're a medical professional. They are a patient. You are using technology to better track the health of their skin. Yeah. It doesn't go any further than that. There's HIPAA. All this stuff is secure for the most part. I just don't see there's not a thing there.
I think like the principle of it is, listen, nurse to nurse, we already know your unit must have had to pay a little fine, a little fee to the hospital for the ding they got because of the happies. Mm-hmm. That's annoying. Okay. It's annoying because now it does place a little bit more work on the nurse during an admit. Not that much more. I'll be that bitch. And I understand what you mean. Like, okay, so my alert and oriented times 4, 59-year-old dude, I got to take a picture of his ass and then explain it. Yeah, you do. Do I think it's totally fair? No, because at the end of the day, it's not actually for the patient's. Like what bothers me about this type of stuff is it's not technically for the patient's health. It's for the hospital's bill. And that annoys me. It's once again profit over patients. And we know that to be true, but they can make it look like it's actually for the patient. Yeah. And it is, because we don't want them to get a pressure injury, but we know it's really money driven. And that's what's slightly annoying. Yeah. But if we can prove, it's just annoying because the hospital's a business. It's a business at the end of the day. And what are we doing? Making sure that your patient doesn't get a pressure injury from us. We don't want that to happen. I don't want my patient to all of a sudden have a skin tear, a pressure injury, a fucking wound vac because of me. But typically also your alert and oriented patients that can move around, like, why are we taking a picture of their ass?
Yeah. I mean, you need...
I get both
there needs
sides.
to be a good protocol in place. Like if we're just like indiscriminately taking pictures of people's booties, I don't get
That's
that.
What she's saying.
They need to. We have things like the Braden scale and things like that. There should be a protocol in place deciding who gets put into that particular protocol.
Yeah, I think it should be like, because it's an ICU. I do think like at some point when your patient is becoming sedated, if we have to sedate them, they're not going to be moving for a bit. Yeah, we take a picture of their ass. Mm-hmm. I get it. Yeah. They're up in walkie-talkie. They walk themselves to the bathroom. They get up to urinate. Why are we taking a picture of their booty? You know what I mean? Unless there was something there previously.
Yeah, and pressure injuries are an enormous cost on the healthcare system, an enormous cost to hospitals.
An enormous cost to the patient. And
you can't take a picture in real time of a COTI. You know what I mean? You can take a picture of the exterior of the catheter and stuff like that. But this allows hospitals legal to show in real time, like, we did not cause this injury. This is what it looked like whenever they left. Of course they're going to do it. That's just good business.
They're covering their ass, and I get where it's frustrating. I do.
I think one thing that I had never thought of this before, but like most other, especially as I'm doing stuff with Scrubstr and I'm learning more about how other disciplines function, most other disciplines, there's some metric of productivity and therefore a metric of workload. And nurses, do you know any metric of workload?
No, they just keep
we talk about ratios, but that varies widely. And then there's some they usually have some sort of acuity system in each hospital that's different everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's no real, we can track other disciplines' workload, and then we know when their workload is too much. We know their workload compared to other people. We know what workload they can handle. Nurses don't have a workload metric that I'm aware of. And so if things usually ended up getting heaped onto us, and then you got something happens on a unit and another protocol call gets put on, and then you have some person always trying to climb the clinical ladder, and so they make some dumb piece of paper that we got to fill out so that you can go from Clin 3 to Clin 4. Yeah, kill me. So, you know, when all this stuff adds up, none of that goes into acuity. The only thing that goes into acuity is stuff from that patient's chart. And so our workload starts to creep. And
that's where this can get annoying.
Yes. And I don't
understand.
think until we have some sort of workload metric, I think we're going to see a creep continue.
We should be asking, because I think like RT, don't come for me, but I think they have something like this.
There's like units of productivity. I know it's big with PTs. Doctors have billable hours. You know, there's something for each one.
And why don't we? Because you know what I want to add to mine? Let me have a little rant real quick. If one more fucking person calls me and asks me to call so-and-so for them, I'm going to lose my damn mind. Yeah. You call them, bro. You call them. I am not a damn secretary. I am so sorry. I am not going to call the consult for the doctor. You do that. What the fuck? Why would I do that? I am not going to call the doctor for asking why CTs wants this imaging when it's in the note and they put what they want and there's not a clear explanation for CT. You call the doctor, bro. We have the same name. You have a Vocera, so do I. And I know that this can come across like bitchy. Yeah, I'm being a bit of a bitch. I get so irritated. I'm so overstimulated already from all the noise and all the tasks and all the wants and all the needs. And then somebody calls me and asks me to do their job. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, and it's more than... You gave us like the emotional side of it. It burns nurses out faster. But it's just like, every kid has played telephone. The more people that information passes through, it's just not best practice.
Yes, we're going to lose something. Yeah. We're going to miscommunicate somewhere. Just call directly who you want to talk to. I understand as well. And doctors, if you're listening, take this and listen to it. A lot of people are scared to call you because sometimes you guys are very fucking rude. Nobody wants to be yelled at. Nobody wants to get the side eye over the phone. Nobody wants that. So they want the nurse to do it for them. That's what's happening. Yeah. And I understand. I don't want that shit either. So if you're a doctor listening, you're like, I don't do that. Great. Now tell your colleagues not to do that shit either, because it is like such a common thing. Why are you being so rude when we're just covering our ass as well? Policy and clarifying. We're not questioning you. We're clarifying. It's okay. Anyway, my whole thing is like with the workload, that little like, can you call? No, you do it. It sends me over the edge. I am so sick and tired of also being the unit clerk. Yeah. That is not our job. It is not our job. You can fight me on that. Yeah. Unless it's extremely specific to where it is our job. But it's typically not.
Yeah. Or if you're the one holding the majority of the information on what you're calling about, you should be talking to the doctor.
Yes. Yeah, that's not our job. Do you guys want to hear some fun stories now? I'm very irritated. Okay, so on my Instagram, I polled the people and I asked, what embarrassing thing did you do at work, but now you laugh about or hope to laugh about in the future? Some of these are pretty short and sweet, so we're going to wrap them up with a few short and sweet ones, then we're going to wrap up the episode. This one says, wheeled my patient into a wall in front of the charge nurse station at change of shift. LOL. We all do it.
Yeah, everybody's well, if it's in a...
She said wheeled, though. In a wheelchair?
I have had a patient that I was pushing in the wheelchair that just had an amputation or something like that, and I turned them and just clipped the side of the door with their surgical foot. Yeah.
Did they yell?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I felt really bad.
Asshole.
Yeah.
It was an accident, but it's so funny. Because, I mean, if it's not there's one certain wheelchair that's like you're gliding.
Yes.
And then the
it was
rest.
one of those too fast.
Oh, I was going to say I like those.
No, I like them too, but it was like.
But you did.
Yeah, it's like too smooth. And so I wasn't, and I'm just like hot rodding around with them in there. And yeah.
Oh my God. Made the mistake of eating a bowl of beans before my shift.
Sounds lovely.
A bowl of beans?
Heck
This
yeah.
must be night shift because unless you're like in the UK, but you're just waking up and eating beans and toast.
I love a good thing. And like in the ICU, like who doesn't blame their farts on their patients? Anyway?
I'll be honest. If you work in a hospital, fart it up.
Yeah.
Because I be free farting. You know, ladies, we free bleed sometimes. You know who you are. Free farting, do it. If you work in a hospital, the hallway stinks anyway.
Yeah.
My hallway the other day smelled like fucking C. diff. I was letting loose. And yeah, I was on my period. Those farts were not good farts.
I mean, you never have to walk more than about 15 feet to find a stinky area. So just
make one yourself.
Go to your nearest stinky area or start your own. Yeah.
Start your own stinky area.
Yeah. It's like a little build your own. It's like your little sourdough kid in there. Build your own.
They like come by. They're like, there's no patients over here. Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
Someone was wheeled by earlier.
It's a startup.
You're just like, I just go, oh my God. Yeah, it stinks. Who is that? Do you guys, have you seen the odor spray?
Mm-hmm.
Can someone grab the side note? That shit is the best odor spray ever. The one that's in the hospital, the little, what is it called? M9 spray or something.
M9.
That shit needs to be in everyone's stocking. Fuck good. Poopery. Yeah. You need that shit. It's so good.
Yeah. That's, that reminds, I think it was like famous story on Reddit or somewhere. It's a pretty well-known story, but the medical student was sitting in on a surgery. And so there's, a bunch of people, 10, 15 people in there, medical students, and the doctor is operating, GI doc. And this student farts because their stomach was hurting so bad they could not hold it. They didn't want to leave because, they didn't want to be seen as any type of way. And so they fart in the OR, and the surgeon stops and he's like, did somebody pass gas? And they stayed quiet because they're like, you're not going to admit that you just ripped like a deadly fart. And the GI doc was working near the bowel, and he was like, no, I need to know now if somebody passed gas. I don't care, but I need to know if I nicked the bowel. And so the person in the back had to be like, I farted.
It was me. Oh no. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And also horrifying because you're like, fuck. Mm-hmm. It was me.
Yep. And then you're the fart guy for the rest of medical school. That sucks.
But I mean, we all fart. Just, I guess, don't fart in the OR during a GI surgery.
I miss COVID when there was like a HEPA filter in every room. That fart was gone before it left your butt.
Not if you were wearing a PAPR and
Yes.
you had on all the things. If you farted, that fart went straight up into your mask and you literally can't get it out.
I quit wearing, you have the belt unit for a PAPR? I quit wearing it right above my butt crack because like, man, I about killed myself a few times.
That is so funny. We all do it, girl. Eat those beans. I mean, I'm just more concerned that you eat. I'm not concerned. Eat whatever you want. But like, I don't eat beans for breakfast personally. I eat a lot of things for breakfast. I'll eat some soup for breakfast. I'll eat pizza I just don't love beans like that, I guess.
Yeah, why would you love fiber and protein and healthy carbs all in one meal?
Okay.
Yeah. Better step off our beans, me and whoever wrote
You and this person.
Yeah.
Asked an amputee if he was crossing his legs while taking a blood pressure.
Yeah, we've all done that one before. That's
It's honestly, it's like not funny. It's like, it's so funny, but it's not. Like,
yeah.
I understand, especially if it's like a new amputee, like a patient like really going through the grief of losing a piece of their body. But like, I hope you don't think I'm an asshole. Hear me out. It's something we all do, and we're like God, you idiot, every single time. Like, it's funny in a way of like, how the fuck do we all do this?
Yeah, you're gonna put your foot in your mouth at some time. Like we're if you work
Not there for
long
though.
enough, you're
It's
gonna
gone.
see you're gonna see a little bit of everything. And yeah.
Yeah, this one says, which arm for blood pressure when they only had one arm? Like, we already know it's coming. We know exactly. Like, do you want the lights on or off? They're blind patient.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck? Why do we do this? We don't think. This one says, walked in a room and told the RN that the patient felt cold. They were being cooled post-arrest. They are very cold.
Yeah, this a lot of this is just stuff like mistakes you're gonna make your first year.
Oh,
You don't know until
even
you see
beyond
it.
that, like I still would do some of this on accident, obviously, because you're just going through the motions and you're not thinking. Like there's a lot of muscle memory in what we do.
Yeah. And I don't know why it is, but like my first 2 years, every single time I made a really dumb mistake, the same doctor was working. He had to think I was the worst nurse. Like, he probably called on my license. Like,
No. He just talked shit about you in their break room.
Exactly.
You know he did. He's
He had
like,
to.
you know that nurse Jared? Fuck, man.
And I don't even blame him. Like, it was him every time.
The way I already know what doctor it was too.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Yep.
But I feel like I fucked up in front of that doctor too so many times. And so he's like, and they're married. These fucking idiots. This one says, I got peed on 2 weeks ago helping someone with a Foley. She told them to cough and it veered off at me. What?
Read that again.
I got peed on 2 weeks ago helping someone with a Foley. She told them to cough. She's looking for the wink.
Oh.
And it veered off at me.
A wink and veered off does not, maybe I guess if they turned.
It veered off at me. I'm thinking the urine itself.
Yeah, maybe so.
Do you mean a penis?
Yeah, if it's a penis, why are we coughing?
I want more details. Yeah, it's got to be a woman because they're looking for a wink, I bet. And then I'm guessing you're so close down there, they cough.
Yep. Yeah.
Peas.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had.
Damn.
I've had some that were like actively peeing while I'm trying to intubate.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's
Intubate?
like, or
That's
yeah.
fine.
What do they call it? A
Cathabate? What is it?
no, a urinary intubation or something like that. Like a little stupid word for.
Literally the other day at work. So it's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock for me. I'm a day shifter. What am I going to do? Go clean up my patient's room. We're taking out the trash. We're emptying the Foley. We're emptying all the secretion things that could be that need to be emptied. So I'm in the room for like the 5th time. This is one of those rooms I've been in and out, in and out, in and out. I go in. I'm like, I'm going to empty the Foley. Fuck, there's nothing in here to put the urine in. And something about these rooms is there's no toilets in these rooms. This unit is small and there's like a toilet on the unit that we have to now exit the room with the urine or feces and put it in the community toilet, essentially. So I'm in that room and I'm like, whatever. I'm like, oh, there's a container. I'll take this container. I took this container. It was this round container. It had like, what's it called? Like measurements on it where I would know how much urine goes in it. I'm like, perfect, grab it. Fill it up, There's at least 2 liters of urine, okay? I'm like, pick it up. I start walking out. Now, there's a kid in this room, like a 10-year-old, and he's looking at me wild-eyed. And I'm like, well, maybe it's because, like, I don't know. He's in an ICU. I keep walking. I go past him, and then I feel something warm on my shoe, and I look down. There's a hole in the bottom of this container because it's a fucking enema container.
Oh, no.
That the tube's supposed to go on the end of it. And I was supposed
You're just trailing
if
pee
you
down
guys
the
don't
hall.
know, yeah, it's supposed to be a bucket you hang up here, and the enema goes down into the butthole with all like soap suds enema container. And I'm like, are you kidding me? There's piss from the Foley, a puddle, all the way down the hallway, and this kid was watching me horrified because he watched me get the urine and then watched me sprayed it, and then on my shoe, and he was like. Like it wasn't funny to him. He was like, this is disgusting.
Man, he
I
couldn't
was
help you out a
dying
little bit?
laughing. He's like 10. Urine's got to be disgusting.
No, not help you out, but like, hey, it's leaking.
No, he didn't say a word. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, I did not clock that this was an enema container. I had no clue there was a hole on the side of it. And I was just like, oh, the worst part was the EVS was on the unit and watched me. And she's like, I got it. She was so mad. I was like, girl, I'm so sorry.
Yep. Now she hates you.
No, we like laughed, but I was like, I really did not. You know what? I'm just trying to do my job. Okay. I was just literally trying to do a good job. And what do? Get piss all up in my shoe.
To be fair, I haven't seen the enema. I haven't seen an enema bucket. It's usually a bag.
So that's why I didn't know what it was. I was like, what the fuck? I have not seen. And I told my coworker and she's like, it's for enemas. And it made so much sense then. I was like, oh, that's the tubing that was in the bucket that I took out. Oh.
There was tubing in it and okay.
But you know how people will get
a little more your fault.
Oh, come on. You know how people would grab buckets and they'll stuff it with things. Like any type of bucket in the room is stuffed with things that don't go in it. Yeah. So I just thought it was like, I didn't look at the tubing. I assumed it was like a nasal cannula. Right. Threw it out. No, it was enema tubing. Yeah. Anyway, a couple more and then we'll be done. I managed to get chemo urine in my eyes. Is there a wash station?
Yeah, that's no bueno.
That is no bueno. She said, funny now, not then.
Might not be funny in the future.
We'll find out in 10 to 20 years. No, that sucks. Hopefully you had the eye wash station. Yeah. And also, like, how much does that actually do when it's, like, in your bloodstream? Like, does it permeate? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's not on your eye, but is it in your system?
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's, people contract diseases through their eyeballs. That's a thing.
You're in my prayers. Accidentally stuck myself drawing Lispro and convinced I dropped my own sugar. I've stuck myself with an insulin syringe so many times.
Yeah.
I don't, like, obviously I go get a new one and all that. I'm talking about a clean one, by the way. Like right before I give it to the patient, like nicking my finger and I'm like, ugh. More so because now I have to go redraw this shit, waste this shit. It's so annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's especially you got like that. There's a little dot or a little bubble on the end of the syringe, and you jam yourself, and you're like, I'm gonna die.
Great. This one says, paged the general surgeon 3 times during their sign out back to back because I didn't know how to use a pager. Do you want to know what's so funny? Is I literally just read a recent Reddit post from a resident saying that they got paged 3 times in a row. Bitch, was it you? Saying that they got paged 3 times in a row and they lost it on the 3rd one. And they were like, what do you need?
To be fair, I don't entirely know how they work. You call the pager and then it beeps and tells you
to call them. It's a text essentially.
And why are we using pagers? What's going on?
For real, at this point, why are we paging in any capacity when we could have Tiger Text or whatever the other one is?
Yeah.
If your hospital doesn't have a text system, they broke as fuck. No, I'm just kidding. They're not using the money to the things they could, okay? We need a text system, a secure text message. That's it. That's all I'm wanting.
Yeah, I never knew. Whenever I worked a few places that you had to page people, I never knew if I did it right. And usually they called the unit.
Yeah. But paging them 3 times in a row, they're like, God, I'm trying. Yeah. Like, they don't understand why we're accidentally doing it. Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective. Okay, couple more. I was filling a VBG syringe and forgot to put my finger over the top. Let's just say the wall was messy.
Filling a VBG syringe.
I'm thinking that's like an ABG.
Yeah, and didn't put their finger over the top?
I'm also thinking they mean that what I'm envisioning is they actually pulled from the art line and they had the little thing there that pulls it. And when you take the tube off, it just goes because nothing's there to stop it.
Adapter on?
That's what I'm envisioning.
But even there, you shouldn't be putting your finger over it.
Well, you shouldn't have the adapter there at all without something connected to it, but you put it over thinking that it'll do something.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's even the same thing. That's just what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, because that's an ABG and they said VBG. Though.
When I was a new grad, I was drawing labs and I put it into the vial, right? And there was a little bit left in the syringe and I thought I could push it in there. And I was like, oh, well, why won't it take the rest of it? I'm so stupid. I pushed it. I pulled out the syringe and it went everywhere. Like, I'm talking exploded. And I was like...
I think a lot of nurses do that one.
Because it was like a science project. Like, I was like, can this? No, it cannot.
And they don't just like explicitly teach you that they put like enough vacuum in there to pull what it needs.
Yeah. And I was like, well, just take this little 1 mil left, 2 mils left, because I don't want to waste it. Mm-hmm. And it went everywhere. The funny part was my preceptor, like in the ICU rooms, like it's like a glass room, essentially. She can see me, saw me do the entire thing and saw the blood go all over the curtain and the wall. And she was going, just shaking her head at me. Yep. She's like, this this dumb bitch.
You got to make those mistakes yourself because you'll only do it once.
You'll only do it once, and that doesn't harm anyone. Like, it was like a silly, funny, haha, hee hee. Let's kiki about it now.
Yeah.
That's all I got for you.
That was fun. I like the medical questions.
Yeah. So this is kind of my vision for season 6 is this type of content.
Yeah, a little more like nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
With other good stories thrown in, but a little bit more to help our new grads or people that have been working a few years. Maybe.
I mean, every nurse makes mistakes. We say new grad embarrassing stories a lot, but the truth is you will make embarrassing stories all throughout your career.
Yeah. And especially talking about communication, soft skills, things like that. There's no new grad, 20-year veteran.
Yeah.
Everybody needs it.
Absolutely. So if you liked this type of episode, which like I said at the beginning, I did poll everyone and they said they liked the listener write-ins, the Reddit stories, please email me or comment below if you're on Spotify or YouTube, what themes you like, what stories you like, because I want to do more of these. We do a lot of advice columns, so don't forget to send your advice stories. Am I the asshole? We've got embarrassing new grads, fired or written up. Like all of these stories, confessions, secrets, like we have themes ongoing, and I want to read your stories because I feel like it's more fun to me.
Yeah, and more people are sending stories, and it's really exciting to see. Like initially, we would like pull stories from Reddit, but it's more fun for your followers to send in their stories, so it feels a little bit more like feedback,
and it feels more connected to me. Like I'm like, oh, these are like people like I don't know you, but I feel like I know you a little bit better. So that is today's episode. That's the end of season 5. End of season 5.
In the books.
We're heading into 2026 with season 6. It's crazy. I feel like the moment August hits, the rest of the year is a blur every year.
Yeah, I still remember the first episode sitting on those little crappy recliners in the RV.
Yeah.
With the mic in our hand.
Yeah. And if you've listened from the beginning, thanks for being here because I know so much has changed, but I feel like this is going to be more of the consistent episodes.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here in a completely blank room.
The sterile
not decorated.
Guys, the other thing
on the floor.
about that is like, we're only in this house for 4 more months. And now we're like, does it really matter in this house? So I'm so type B. I don't care enough at this moment.
We just need to green screen the whole thing and do the podcast on the moon. I don't even care anymore.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Definitely check out the links in the description for Rain's Place and send us your listener write-ins at stories@scrubhacks.com. That's all we got for you.
Cool.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Bye.